Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namam. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Nirvana Prakarana Purvārdha, Section 84. Insight into renunciation is presented by Kumbha Muni, who is son of sage Narada, and more. Another way, it is Chudala, the Queen Chudala, assuming the role of Kumbha Muni, is giving these teachings, knowing that Sikhidwaja was not ready to understand that liberation doesn't require an outward appearance, outward austerity. You become settled with yourself and with the whole world. From the dream to awakening, you don't run away in your dream world to somewhere, sit in a corner of a big cave to wake up. The dream to awakening can be even in a palatial garden, and so forth. Presently, the topic has been about rooting out the tree of Chitta as long as there is ignorance. Chitta becomes the basis of bondage. Enlightened by knowledge, Chitta becomes the basis for enlightenment. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And once ignorance moves away, Chitta becomes Chit, pure consciousness, Brahman. To reiterate, Chitta is the tree, root is avidya, sprout is malin chitta. Sprout stage of every tree in the beginning there has a sprout stage. That relates to malin buddhi, impure intellect. Trunk is sankalpa, impure will. Uncontrolled senses are the branches. Good and evil karmas are the buds. Birth and death are the fruits. Such is the tree of the Chitta. It is same that is described in the Gita as Ashwatha tree, with roots above and branches below. In brief, this tree has to be cut down, removed. But how do you remove the tree? How do you cut down a dream? By realizing it is a dream. Similarly, how do you cut down this world tree? By developing a deep insight into its illusory nature. It's like a mirage. You don't cut down a mirage. When the root is cut out, Chitta turns into Chit. Asanga sastrena dridena chitva. That's the Gita's statement. Asanga shastra, the weapon of detachment, anasakti, held firmly, and that cuts down, roots out this entirety. Root out again is like cutting down a mirage, cutting down an illusion. So when it's cut down, you don't have all the wood ready for the market to buy. By the practice of viveka and vairagya, you can cut off its branches. If you perform your duties without attachment and without seeking a reward for your actions. Seeking a reward means performing actions for fulfilling an egoistic desire. Sakamya karma. How to move away from sakamya karma? That requires profound sadhana, Vedantic sadhana of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, listening, reflection, meditation, and attaining enlightenment. And with increasing understanding that your goal of your sadhana is nowhere to be attained in the world of physical reality. Because anything in this world is illusion, mirage. The primary objective before a seeker is to find the root and destroy it. The root is ignorance. When we say chitta or ignorance, don't get confused. Chitta is rid of ignorance, becomes chit. So you call it both ways. Either you call the root as ignorance, or call the root as chit. Klishta chitta, limited chitta. Thus the tree of the chitta can be totally destroyed. Destroying the tree of the chitta requires 3 steps: mala, vikshepa, and avarana. Mala, gross impurity, that is handled by karma yoga. Vikshepa, subtle distractions created by vasanas. So I was explaining mala, vikshepa, and avarana. Mala handled by karma yoga, vikshepa by bhakti yoga and raj yoga, avarana by jnana yoga. So by practice of integral yoga, you develop that asanga, detachment, which cuts down the very root of this tree, the tree of the world process. O King, inquiry into who am I is a fire that can consume this tree from its very root. And the tree becomes completely eliminated when avarana is destroyed. Avarana is a veiling caused by ignorance, avidya. O king, inquiry into who am I, and that avarana is removed by Jnana Yoga. And Jnana Yoga is characterized by inquiry, vichar. There are 4 gatekeepers who have to always remember: serenity, contentment, santosh, shama, santosh, satsang and vichar. Satsang, good association, and vichar is the climax of the practice. In order to practice vichar, you have to develop those gatekeepers: serenity, contentment, and take recourse to satsanga. The more you do that, greater is the ability of assimilating the teaching when you hear them, and greater is the ability of your own reflective power to understand. How much you want to understand, that depends upon different states of mind. Your mind is distracted, busy with monkey business, which your vichara shakti is extremely limited. But your mind is calm, relaxed, and you are not driven by cravings and dissatisfaction in your mind, then you begin to understand more and more. And of course, led by satsanga, you promote all these qualities. But the actual nature of vichar is inquiry into who am I, a profound attention towards I am. First point, you have to understand what you want in this world, what is loved by you in the best way possible. What do you love most in the world? Once you understand that, there will be no problem. What you actually love is your own self. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. For the sake of self, all becomes dear. So understand the psychology. Everyone that you are coming in close conjunction with, so that you can come close to your own deeper self. Whoever seems to help you to relax, that person, whatever helps you to relax, that circumstance, that object is loved by you. So you're not loving the objects or circumstances or relatives and friends. Through all this, you are loving your own self. But your own self is not ego self. Your own self is like the sun. Relatives, etc. are reflected suns. And you are also a reflected sun. So a reflected sun's real love is for its essential nature. I am the sun. That is called understanding. If that profound understanding has developed, then your spiritual movement becomes spontaneous, easy, progressively spontaneous. King Shikhidhwaja said, I have inquired into the nature of the self. I am not this body, mind and senses. I am not this world consisting of the earth and the sky. I know that ego arises from the divine self like a cloud of impurity in the sky. Yet, I am unable to destroy this ego. Please tell me how to remove the ego so that I can enjoy peace and bliss. He's getting his intellect more and more subtle, but he is not completely ready. But that's the state of student. If students are absolutely ready, they don't need any more teaching. They simply spread the teaching of the Guru. So he is asking Queen Chudala, without having the awareness that he is talking to his own queen. And his focus is on how to renounce ahamata and mamata, me and mine. And that's the purpose behind all mantras. Nama, neither me nor mine, is condensed into the root letters Nama. That's the goal of your sadhana. But how to find your ego, your me and mine, and drive away the ego by holding on its neck. The ego sense urges a person towards the objects of the senses. If the objects of the world are negated, the ego sense cannot exist. In other words, as long as you consider the world real, your ego will be involved in me and mine. And how to consider the world illusory, that again has to be figured out in a profound way. The world is unreal, should not be taken literally. The world will be as real as ever, just like in your dream. As long as you are dreaming, your dream is as real as any reality you have imagined. But when you begin to wake up, then even though you are in the dream world, with a little touch of awakening sense consciousness, you begin to develop a sense of sport. That whatever is happening in the dream, all right, let it happen. If I want, I will just catch my ear and wake up. In other words, you begin to understand the dream is illusory. In the same way, you begin to understand the world is illusory. Even though you have to go to your office, you have to sit on your chair, you have to use your computers, and I'm just detailing all that. You have to do all this as if real, but at the same time with internal understanding that you are neither this body, nor the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego. All this is in the realm of dream, unreal. How can this visible world be rendered void? But this is the problem with Shikhidvaja. He hears the world has to be considered illusory. But how to? How to remove ahamata, mamata, ego, I-ness and mindness? How to render the world void? How can this perceptible body be realized as an illusory development? Kumbha Muni replied, whatever exists without a cause is illusory. Kumbha Muni is pointing out, to understand time, space, causation, all the three are illusory. But instead of directing the attention to all the three, she is directing the attention to causation. All your study of causation in the practical world is perfectly precise. Someone comes under the coconut tree, coconut falls on the head and injures the person. But prior to the coconut falling, a crow came on the tree. And as the crow came, the coconut fell. Called Kakataliya Nyaya. So, you constantly blame the crow for your trouble. Next thing you blame is the coconut. And you figure out to blame many. But this entire causation is absolutely illusory. You are led by your karmic process to experience the illusion of your dream. You are led by your karmic process to enter into a mirage type of experience. If karmic process is removed, if karma turns into karma yoga, your objective is not to find the result of karma in the world of time and space. Your objective becomes Chitta Shuddhi, purity of heart, and thereby attaining enlightenment. The ego sense urges a person towards the objects of the senses. If the objects are negated, the ego sense cannot exist. So please tell me how to negate the objects of the world. And of course, Kumbha Muni is replying that whatever exists without a cause is illusory. Your body exists without a cause. If you say that its cause is your parents, you are wrong. Your parents have passed away, yet your body exists. If you say that the body is caused by the Creator, this too is wrong. Because Creator, Brahma, is himself an illusory manifestation, like a mirage in a desert. These points confuse the aspirants. Not only Brahma, but Vishnu and Shiva, Saguna Sakar state of God, is not the absolute reality. Therefore, Rama has been described as millions of Vishnu, millions of Shiva, millions of Brahma. So, even the role of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, that role is conditioned by Maya. Creation. Ishvara role is ruling the whole world. But if world is not real, where will be the ruler? If world is not real, who will be the creator? Who will be the sustainer? As long as you are dreaming, the dream has all the three aspects: creator, sustainer, ruler. And that Brahman is your essential nature. Aham Brahmasmi. That Brahman is described as a Rama in Ramayana. Only a deep-rooted understanding of the illusory nature of the world will dissolve the ego sense which sustains the vasanas of the Chitta. With the dissolution of the vasanas, you will destroy the tree of the Chitta. With the effacement of Chitta tree, you will experience infinite expansion of the self. Just same point. Mala, Vikshepa and Avarana, these three impediments removed, which I have explained. Mala by Karma Yoga, Vikshepa, Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Avarana by Jnana Yoga. Yoga in real sense is integral, and practice of yoga is practice of Niskamya Marga, the path of Nivritti, the path leading to absolute renunciation. Section 95. How to remove ignorance. King Shikhidwaja asked, if the entire universe from the Creator down to a blade of grass is illusory, whence does pain arise in human existence? An illusory phenomenon cannot give rise to a tangible effect such as pain. Now, he is unable to understand that the world itself has turned void. Pain doesn't exist. The world process, experience of the world and experience of pain both go together. By the term pain, you are being pointed out, Chatwari Arya Satyani, 4 noble truths. There is pain, misery, dukh, Sanskrit word. That's how the whole philosophical system is presented to sadhaks. Figure out firstly that you are suffering from bhava vyadhi, disease of the world process. You are suffering from pain. But how to remove pain? Figure out what is the cause of pain. First, the nature of pain, dukh, the cause of pain, the means to end the cause, and ultimately the state of cessation of pain. Kumbha Muni replied, though this world is an illusory appearance, it can still cause experience of pain because of the karmas of the soul. Just as water from stony ice, so the self appears as the world process due to ignorance. You are very thirsty and you went to find water. And water started coming. You are seeing it. But you can't enjoy it because it's very cold. So you have to wait. That's a simile is given. But the idea is to understand that if you have attained enlightenment, but from karmic point of view, your personality will continue to exist in the world. And that personality level will not appear to be absolutely free of pain. It will not appear. But it is not a holding on to pain. It is water, either in frozen state or its liquid state. But it is water. And that's pointing out to karma. Ichha prarabdha, anichha prarabdha, parecha prarabdha. Prarabdha, that is in harmony. You have pure water and you are drinking it. That's one state. Parecha prarabdha, somebody helped you to melt down the ice and to bring it to the room temperature. Parecha, people around you are assisting you. Even their assistance is not their excessive kindness. It is led by your karmic process. Your karma allows it to have that type of relationship. And then anicca prarabdha. Again, your karma creates inimical situations and situations that are not likable by you. But all this will continue even when you are enlightened. In two stages. From sattvapatti state, the moment sattvapatti comes, one becomes enlightened. The term enlightenment is used when a person has reached that state from where he cannot go backward. He has not completely experienced the fullness of enlightenment, but practically enlightened. He cannot go backward. Once you have come to that state, you have no other way to go but to go on ascending higher states. And during that movement, a progressive movement, pain will appear. Different troubles will appear in your personality, led by your karma. Certain karma can make you very royal, powerful. Certain karma can make you very miserable. And you can see the story of all sages and saints. King Janaka was a great sage, but externally it never appeared that he was an ascetic. Everything was royal. But then you have the stories of Janaka, how a certain person became so curious why Janaka has not renounced. And he calls himself. And he follows Janaka's camp in a political way. He's settling himself, fighting with his enemies. And he mentions to King Janaka. And Janaka stays quiet. But then suddenly there is a change in the political condition and Janaka has to go. He leaves everything behind and moves on. But this man who has been asking him about why he has not renounced, he carries his little, he doesn't carry, at that time, sudden departure. He began to miss his kamandalu. He started looking for it. King Janaka pointed out, I had all the big things. And I move on. But you can't move on because we are separated from your kamandalu. So, vairagya doesn't imply a literal separation. Vairagya is a state of mind, the mind that understands that you are not dependent upon objects of the world. But outwardly it will appear you are with objects, you are enjoying them, but all led by karma. An aspirant must control his senses and thereby weaken the externalized flow of his mind towards the objects of the world. Externalized flow and internalized flow. Bahirmukhi vritti, antarmukhi vritti. Whenever is said, externalized to first stage of your sadhana, things around you in the world, how you deal with them, how you hold different practical realities in your mind. That movement of the mind is externalized. Internalized, when you direct your attention to who am I. And so you view externalized and internalized as two different aspects. From a profounder point of view, think of you are holding a cloth in your hand. Externalized study, it's a silken, how does it feel, how does it is being used, and all its attributes are externalized. But look deep into it, it is not the shirt, not the coat, not your shawl, it's fibers. Look deep, fibers are substance, cotton. If we are talking about cotton cloths. And cotton came from the tree. And that cotton came from another source, coming more subtler. They are all nothing but tattvas, the elements, subtle elements. And subtle elements are nothing but Purusha, Brahman. So, same cloth is now leading you to a revelation. All is Brahman. If that movement of the mind is antaramukhi vritti, internalized vision, that internalized does not leave anything externalized. And with this, I will conclude. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Amritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat.